Hello YouTube world, Pretend Farmer here. Not a real farmer, just pretending. If you have chickens, you're gonna give your hens layer feed because they are laying hens and they need layer feed. You have two options. You're gonna get pellets or you're gonna get crumbles. I have found personally that our chickens here on the Pretend Farm do not care whether they're eating crumble or pellets. They'll eat them both. And I think if a chicken gets hungry enough, they'll eat whatever you put in front of them. But we typically try and stick with pellets here on the Pretend Farm. And the reason is because I feel like, especially when we were using a hanging style feeder, they would knock a lot of the crumbles out easier and more would go to waste. It would get crushed up into powder easier. And I feel like the pellets would hang around a little bit longer and not get wasted as bad. So we prefer pellets here on the Pretend Farm. Now you have a third option. You can get like a layer mash that's like a powdery type feed. Not many places carry that anymore. It's kind of a dated way of feeding your chickens. You got to go to like your co-ops or something if you're going to get mash feed. A lot of your older people will tell you, oh, you've got to give your chickens oyster shells. That's not true anymore. That is true for a long time ago, not anymore. All your modern chicken feeds that are layer feeds, they've got so much calcium built into them, you don't need to supplement that by giving oyster shells anymore. Back in those days, most people fed their chickens just scraps or whatever they could get their hands on, and the oyster shells were pretty much a necessity. Now let's make it just a little more complicated. You can give your chickens and all your flock layer feed 12 months out of the year, 365 days. They can eat layer pellets or crumbles. It doesn't really matter. But if you want to fine tune that diet, let's say you've got a couple roosters, or in our case, we have a rooster and some turkeys. And as you can see by all the feathers we've got in the yard right now, they're molting, some of them. Egg production is very low right now. They don't need a lot of calcium. These chickens need more protein to help them with their molt. There are times like this when we like to switch up and give them a little bit of a special diet here on the Pretend Farm. We got some of this game bird maintenance feed here that is basically specially designed for turkeys and pheasants. This is going to be a lot more beneficial for their nutrition needs right now, as far as giving them that 14% protein. We're going to start mixing in a little bit of cracked corn with their feed. The cracked corn is going to make your eggs taste so much better. And we don't feed this treat in the summertime. But now that we're getting into the time of year when we have the cool, chilly nights and mornings, they can eat this before bedtime as a snack. The chickens love it. It's good for them. And it's going to help them really put on a little bit of fat for winter. It makes the eggs taste a lot better too. We are going to try giving our chickens some scratch grains. Think of this as kind of like a healthy snack for your chickens. It is just a snack. You don't want to feed exclusively scratch grains or your chickens would become super morbidly obese. But they can have this in moderation, and it's a lot better for them than feeding them like bread or anything like that, because there's a lot of nutritional value to this as well, but you just got to use some moderation. I've never given this to our birds before, but supposedly scratch grains they love even more than cracked corn. I guess we'll find out. So for 10 chickens and 4 turkeys, that is more than enough scratch grains for an evening snack. And they will sit there and they will peck at that until it is all gone. Holy crap, Junior is really going to town. I think the scratch grains are a big hit with Junior. Well, until next time, this is the Pretend Farmer. We're gonna go ahead and fill up our feeder. If you got any questions about feed, leave them down in the comments. And we wish you the best of luck stocking up on feed for your chickens this fall. Be sure you put it in sealed containers. You don't just want to leave these bags sitting around or you'll have mice. Till next time, this is the Pretend Farmer. We're signing out.